What's up, people? This is William Jones making videos about leaving religion. The purpose of the videos is to get you to think. Turn your brains on and think and use logic and use reason and realize that religion is fake. Alright, for this video, just talking like I do in other videos to get you to think, open your minds up to new things. Because, you know, when we was in religion is in reality inside of a box. You think when you're in religion, you are in an endless universe with all knowledge, not realizing you are encapsulated in a box. You can't think freely because everything you learn that comes from the actual world has to line up with your theology in the box. That's why when so many of us leave religion and leave the box, we are free to learn. Free to learn without protecting that which we learn. It doesn't have to line up with anything. Why? Because I'm learning. There's nothing wrong with changing. And the problem with religion is you can be in religion for 5, 10, 20, 30 years and you have to stay in line with what you learned 5, 10, 20, 30 years. Everything has to stay the same. It can't change. So why would you in 2020 try to live how people lived back in, 6 CE? Why in 2022 CE would you want to live by the rules people lived by in 500 BCE? They don't apply now. You don't even want the first iPhone in 2022. But you want to live by the Bible that's from the Old Testament in the BCE, in the New Testament in early CE? The first tablet, the first Apple iPad didn't even have a front camera. And so they pimped everyone, having them sleep outside and all of that nonsense to get that iPad, that first iPad, only to release the second one with a forward-facing camera. So what happened to all those iPads that only had the outward-facing camera with no forward-facing? You don't even want it. But you think you want a Bible with fictional stories from 500, 600, 700 BCE until the early CE? For those of you that don't know, that's BC and AD. Before Common Era. But we don't go by the Jesus thing, so we ain't got to say BC, before Christ, and AD, after death, or the Latin version of it, which means the same thing, because there was no Jesus Christ. So we can go by the BCE, before Common Era, and the CE, the Common Era. Because even Jesus, the fictional Jesus, wasn't even born at 1 AD, because Herod the Great had died at 4 BCE, which would put Jesus at birth at 6 CE, but now the new Christian apologists try to say, no, Herod died after the eclipse of some sort during, 2 BCE, which makes Jesus born at 4 BCE, but it's still not according to the, if he was born in time went by when he was born. You could change the fiction up, but the fiction is fiction. Anyway, it's fiction. Let me move on. I get trapped in this stuff. This is what I want to talk about. Hold on. All right, let me look it up. Check this out, right? Check this out. I like making these sayings, because this is what I'm thinking of sometimes. That's why I put them in my phone so I can just say it later. Check this out. Yeah, this is what I said. Before settling at belief, go through what we already know first. I shall say that again. It was a net. Before settling at belief, go through what we already know first. Let me explain. Let me explain. People blindly believe religion without researching anything. Oh, in the beginning, God said, let there be light. They believe that. Have they researched these creation myths to find out that they come from earlier creation myths? No. They just blindly accept the one they were taught and think that's the only one. They think the story of the serpent speaking to the woman was the only one. They think that the whole story about the deluge, which is the flood of Noah, is the only one. They don't want to research anything. They'd rather blindly believe, speak about a fictional God, pray to a fictional God, and live life this way with no concern of learning the actual truth. So that's why I say before settling at belief, go through what we know first. There's nothing wrong with theories. Theories come from when people just don't know. Theories can be wiped away once facts show up. We believe this, then we learn later that this is this, and that theory is gone. No different than if I lost my car keys. I think I left them on the coffee table. Oh, but I found them in my bathroom on the counter. So the coffee table theory of your keys is gone. Why? Because the facts were you found them in the bathroom. And this is what I'm saying. People have theories. They're not just so much beliefs, and it's about real things, about when did the universe start? How was the earth created? Where did the moon come from? Like real things, not things like talking about, well, who is God and where do angels come from? And nonsense that don't apply to real life. They don't apply to real life. They apply to mythologies. Gods and religion is based in mythology. No, it's not. Well, what about Zeus? Well, Zeus is clearly false. By what criteria do you determine that Zeus is false that you can't use against the God that you believe in? Right? Have you seen Zeus? No. Have you seen your God? No. Right. But there are people in Greece today, because that's their gods, they still worship Zeus. Oh, they're crazy because Zeus is false. How do you figure that their God is false and your Yahweh is real? Because if they're Greek, then maybe they go with Zeus. If they are Iranian, then maybe they go with Zoroaster. If they're Indian, maybe they go with Vishnu. If they're Jewish, then maybe they go with Yahweh. What I'm saying is, you have different gods for different regions. So how is Yahweh your God and you're not Jewish? How does this imaginary mythical God supersede the gods of other cultures by your criteria? Oh, because that was the only one you were taught. Okay, so you don't care about Amun-Ra and all of the Egyptian gods and, you know, and the Mesopotamian gods, the Babylonian gods. Only the one that you were taught that came from the Jew, the so-called Jews, that was created and promoted by Rome. That's all I'm saying. And what trips me out a lot is the fact that in 2022, I see it on my job, you know, people are like, oh, he don't believe in God. And I'm like, no, let's say it correctly. I don't believe in any gods. Don't say I don't believe in God as if yours is the only one. No, call me what you want to call me, but say it correctly. I don't believe in any gods. Because I don't believe in your Yahweh or El, and I don't believe in Allah or Zoroaster or Amun-Ra or Vishnu or Zoroaster. I don't believe in any of them. And that's the arrogance of the people in the religions, is thinking that their God is the only God because they clearly haven't researched anything to find out that God is not a name, no more than human is a name, no more than animal is a name, or if I say whale, what whale? Shamu. You didn't say Shamu. That's Shamu is a name. Whale is the species or title. It doesn't, no. So human, I'm looking for human. The only true human. You can't say only true human. There are plenty of humans. Well, I only believe in this human. Well, that's you, and I'm not subject to what you believe. But the fact of the matter is there are plenty of humans. So when you say God, I say, which one? There's only one true God. In your limited learning, you think there's only one God because you have not researched anything, because you blindly believed what you were taught about the one supposed God of the fictional Bible. Call it what you want to call it. That's what it is. You blindly believe that. Okay, let me see. Let me see. Gods. Matter of fact, look. As a matter of fact, I heard people say how they couldn't date someone that doesn't believe in God. Again, in 2022, we're dealing with belief. So you couldn't date a person as myself because I don't believe in something that you have no proof actually exists. And the only way you can tell me about this thing is to tell me to blindly believe as you do. Well, good things happen. That was God. Love happens. That's God. But bad things happen. That's not God, but yet He's in control. And He is love, but hateful things happen and bad things happen to a God who is supposedly good all the time and is love. And then the Bible clearly states that He creates evil and darkness. And I don't understand, you create darkness when darkness is the absence of light. So if you created darkness, does that mean there was light and you created a void within the darkness to exist outside of something you don't want to be known about? I'm just saying what it says. Look, people, all I'm saying is this. Think for yourselves. I make videos for you to think. We question people. The kryptonite to religion is thinking. They don't want you to freely think. They even have billboards where they say that faith overrides facts. Faith overrides facts. Really? That's a cult. Facts are facts. You don't believe facts. Facts are facts. Do I have a phone here? Do you believe it? Or do you see it? So you got belief. I believe he's holding the phone versus he's clearly holding the phone. So is it faith that I'm holding a phone or the fact that I'm holding a phone? Once you go to the fact that I'm holding a phone, if I do this, he's holding the phone. I believe he's holding the phone. By faith, he's holding the phone. He's holding the phone. I'm holding a phone. Facts always trump faith. Faith dies when facts show up. Theories are theories because people don't know. Hypotheses are hypotheses because they don't know. But once they try it and know it, then the facts override the theories and the hypotheses. That's a phone. God's, Jesus, people, you tell me a whole story about the king, show me the people. That's belief. Then that goes into faith. And you can't prove it. So why in 2022 is it so weird that I don't believe something that you can't produce? So I should believe and serve some person that you cannot produce. And the person is so real to you, but you refuse to read that Bible. You won't even read that holy book about that person you speak to me about that exists. You don't even know what's in the book because it's boring if you read it. And it doesn't line up with actual history, and the Bible is more fiction and folklore than it is fact. And for those of you that's watching me, you're just agreeing because you know it is. But for those of you that don't know me, oh, he don't know. Oh, he don't know. Oh, he not spiritual. and all that nonsense, but bring your proof. Bring your facts and show all of us. And once we can move from the realm of belief into knowing, without a shadow of a doubt, then you got something. Until then, you're believing and trying to tell me, well, you know how people love each other? I don't want to hear that. Love is an emotion. It's not a God. Doing something good for someone is not a God. It's humanity. Come on now. I mean, come on. That's not a God. It is what it is. It's people doing things for people. You can't make that your God because you want everybody to believe what you want them to believe. That's bull crap. Let me see. That's nonsense. Let's see what else I had here. Let's see. Oh, I see this one. Oh, watch this. Believing in God is like believing wrestling is real. Man, when I was like 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, my grandfather and I, my mother's father, we used to watch wrestling. And he said it was real. So I believed it was real. And I remember Granddaddy saying, oh, you gonna tell me that's fake? They hit him with the chair. You gonna try to tell me that's fake? That ain't fake. That's real. And at my age, I believed, you know, all these ones with Mean Gene Okerlund and Nikita Koloff and Ivan, came up with the name, Junkyard Dog, Ric Flair, Rick Slater, wrestler number 1, wrestler number 2, Andre the Giant, all that. Because before there was WWE and WWF, there was was it NWA? Y'all probably know, not the rap group, but the other one. And they probably changed it because of the NWA, but I'm just saying. And my grandfather was my grandfather, so when he said it was real, Rock and Roll Express, the Road Warriors, man, all the road, you can tell me nothing about the Road Warriors. They slide in the ring, beat people up for the theme music stop playing. They slide under the ring, done beat them up, pinned them, and slid back out. Hawk and Animal. You couldn't tell me what? That was real. Then I got a little older, moved away from Granddaddy in my grandma's house, and I realized, wow, wrestling is fake. Cause when you see MMA or UFC, when somebody get kicked in the face or punched in the face for real, they don't get up and keep fighting and do all that stuff Hulk Hogan was doing. Somebody hitting them and they doing all that. Hit him, and the Hulk Hogan hit him and slam him. In real life, they was knocked out. They got the smelling salts. You can't watch this UFC, MMA stuff and then watch WWE or WWF, whichever one it is now, and think that stuff is real. Because even The Rock now is an actor. John Cena is an actor. Batista is an actor. They just changed from going in the ring to going to movies. So the same way, I don't went all deep into wrestling, dang. Same thing about God. God ain't none of the gods real. Like, oh my God, none of the gods are real. It's not real. So believing God is real is like believing wrestling is real. You're going to fool your own mind to make you think the things you're watching are real, and they are not. You can make all kind of excuses for God, but I'll tell you this one. None of them are real. They're always represented by people. They are never represented by the actual deity. They're only represented by people that believe that deity is real. Come on. If you was voting for a political candidate and the political candidate never did a debate, never showed their face, you wouldn't believe it was real. In this election time, late October 2022, we about to go into elections here. You wouldn't believe a candidate that never showed up. They want to debate. They got signs everywhere. They want to be seen. Why? Because that's what gets in the mind of people being seen. Think about a candidate that was running that had no signs. No pictures of himself. Or let's switch it up. They have signs, but nobody's never seen them. You got Candace Morrison, and she's running for something, but you've never seen her. And there's no debate against her counterpart because she doesn't show up. She's nowhere. How many people gonna vote for that person? Who is it? Please show the people. People got to be real. People need to be seen. Believe in something without seeing it. Oh my goodness. Let me go back to this. So again, let me say this. We don't settle for beliefs until we've gone through the facts. Go through the facts that are here. And whatever we don't know, then you could call it a theory or hypothesis, but we don't live by creating a whole world around a person that doesn't exist. You make a whole Bible about somebody that you don't have the existence of the person. But you make a whole book around them and live by what they supposedly said when they said nothing? No. First, we have to make the person real. And then if they're real, speak for yourself. Donald Trump speaks for himself. Joe Biden speaks for himself. Come on. They speak for themselves. You believe them because they speak for themselves. But this God, other people speak for them, and they don't even agree with the message. Now we know there's something wrong, because if somebody came out and said something, Donald Trump said this. Oh, trust and believe. Donald Trump gonna show up and correct you and say, no, that's not what I said. That's not what I said. He's gonna correct you and tell you what he said. He's going to tell you. But yet this God is spoken of by thousands of people who don't even have the same message. And that's to be believed? Where's the person? He's beyond space and time. That means non-existent. You are describing something that does not exist. If you are in space and time and matter, then he's not, then he can't deal with you because that person doesn't exist. And if the person is only talking to you, in your head, but not everybody else, that's an imaginary friend. And you should, in normal cases, you should seek help for that. It doesn't exist. A whole book based on a character that constantly changes because it's not the same God to those who are unlearned. It's multiple gods. That's why the one in the Old Testament is multiple and does different functions. One wants blood, one wants peace. And then you come to the New Testament and he didn't disappear, and we get Jesus Christ. Now, instead of loving your enemies, he didn't love the enemies, but he said kill the men, the women, the children, the infants, the old people, the cattle. Turns around and the New Testament says, love your enemies. Bless those that curse you. Clearly, not the same God that doesn't change. But for people that don't read the Bible or study the Bible, they think it's the same God. Oh, because Jesus showed up. And Jesus was supposed to show up again for the people that were alive then, but he hasn't. So, it's a myth. Clearly a myth. I'm wrapping this up. I'm about to go, y'all. I gotta get off of this. Now, like I said, believing in God, like believing wrestling is real. If you think WWE, WWF is real, and you believe God is real, it's all in the same boat. You can make it all what you want it to be. You can make it all up in your mind. But ain't nobody hitting nobody with no steel chair and they getting up and coming back fighting. Ain't nobody slamming somebody off the top of the ropes onto the concrete floor, onto a table, and they coming back and wrestling. Because you know if it happened to you and somebody slam you from the top rope down to a table, a fold-up table, you are going to file a lawsuit. You're not going to get back up and back into the ring and keep fighting. It's all staged, and we know it because the top wrestlers, like I said, The Rock, John Cena, Batista, are actors in movies, and they acted in wrestling. So God is the same thing. People believe it. They can believe. I don't care what you believe. Belief doesn't equal real. None of that is real. It's acting. It's all acting. Sorry for the bubbles that were busted. You shouldn't have watched this video. But anyway, I'm about to get off this video. Like the video, hit subscribe. Like it, hit subscribe. Just wait for the next videos. I mean, football season going on. I'm watching football, doing other things, whatever. I'm trying to make the videos, but like I said, it's just me. I drop them when I drop them. I can't even apologize for it. It's football season. So, I will see y'all in the next video, and y'all take care out there. Peace.